All right, so I am going to share my screen. I've got a new setup. It's the same computer, but like I just changed it to be a different room. So hoping everything is working just fine. Do you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Um, all right. So did you all, I think we have a new person, Karthik, so I guess he can introduce himself one more time, like I guess when everybody else is here, because we're still waiting for the other Karthik and then maybe Hanya, because they were here the first 2 days, but it's okay. If they're not here, then we can go on. I'll just give it a second here. Um, so did you have a chance, both of you, to go through the videos on YouTube?
So are you referring to those MIT videos or Udemy, something like that, is it? Or
Oh no, just the ones for the last two sessions. And then Kumar, I don't know if you're muted.
but I saw that.
Okay, let me go ahead.
I saw the bit of the last one where you were solving two sum problem and all.
That's right. Yeah, this is our playlist. Let me give it to you. Um, so,
I have access to it.
okay, great. I'll just put in the chat anyway, just so that we have it. So, so yeah, that's where I'll be putting a lot of these videos. For the most part, you know, we're still doing this. And let me get back up here. Mouse. So, yeah, this week, right, we're basically just going through the blind 75. And, we're going over things like language constructs and data structures. Do you all have access to GitHub? I'm assuming you haven't been added to this repo yet, right? Do you have both GitHub usernames?
Yep.
Okay, be sure to send that to me here in the chat, or there you go. So when you get this invite, just basically check that you can contribute to the repo. So you're gonna see this on GitHub. So you want to go to your GitHub account. And same thing for Sadhana too. Go to your GitHub account and then make sure that you accept the invite. Because if you don't accept the invite, then nothing's going to happen for you. So just want to make sure you both can contribute to this particular repo here. And then you can see that the other Karthik, he goes by Karpra on GitHub. He's merged in his code already. So he did twosome, and then he did contains a duplicate. So the idea here is that we're going off of the blind 75 decode questions for now, right? Although we can do other things as well. But the idea is that like just go through array this week and then, brush up on like the language you want. So if it's Java, pick Java and make sure that you're okay with, the entire language constructs. If it's Python, use Python, JavaScript, C++. Some of us were talking about C++ because we thought like it's closer to the machine. So you actually get to think about things like heap, memory, stack, whereas in other languages like Python and JavaScript, you don't really think about it. So that could help you like in better thinking about like the problem that you're going to solve. So yeah, just confirm that you have access now to this repo, and then I can talk to you about how this repo works.
Yeah, I've known that repo.
Okay, great. You're okay, Sadhana?
Just give me 1 second.
Sure. So Kumar, do you want to try like cloning this repo and then basically updating this README? That's kind of the direction that we gave everybody from last time. Try to add to the README So that way we know that you can make a pull request easily.
What do you want me to commit there?
Just clone this repo, then basically update the README, and then do that as a pull request. That way we know, okay, you're able to work with this repo. So the instructions, would be like on your machine, right? Go to this repo. I think I put it in my coding folder. Or I can just do it from scratch. So I'll just do.
Yeah, I did.
Perfect.
You can refresh it. Oh, I did. Oh, I covered directly actually. Yeah. So last 3 dot, they were added by me.
Okay. Yeah. Don't commit directly to the repo. It should be a pull
Okay.
request. Yeah. If you commit to the repo, then, it's harder for us to go back and change. Well, it's a small change, so I'll forgive you. It's no big deal. But yeah, you'll want to make a pull request. So just like this, right? So cd into that project, and then, then readme, whatever. Then git status, and git checkout branch, and you'll just say your name first, because I prefer that. That's how I can check these branches. So your name first. So whatever you want to go with, I'll use your GitHub name. Then readme change.
Gotcha.
And git push origin, the same thing. Your branch name.
Yeah, you haven't added the file.
Oh yeah, thank you. Git add all. So like this, then you'll see that there's a pull request that comes up. You take a look at it, just create the pull request. Then, I mean, like for me, this is like, I already know what it looks like, so I'm going to just merge this. So then if I go back to this repo here, you can see that this is updated again. So, and you can see that Carpa added his, so you can kind of go in and take a look at what he's already done. He's got just these right here merged. And then it seems like he's adding one more anagram brute force. So this is where I would review. We can all review it and take a look at it. I've got some commits that I'm going to push today. Been a little bit behind because I've got like some work coming up that is a little bit, hectic. But like, I think for the most part though, like I'll have these, my own version like pushed up, and we can check those as well. And I think like what I'm advising everybody is to, just don't look at like anybody else's solution when you're doing these. Like just try to like do it from your own mind, then use the solution. That's way like like you have a chance to actually try it out. But then that said, don't get too stuck, because if you're like just not able to get a solution at all, that's not the point of this group. The point of the group is to help you kind of like figure out this stuff. So if it becomes really difficult for you, then just go look at the solution and see like what it is. I think you have to subscribe, but I think it is free. Or well, you must subscribe to premium, but like you can just probably like look at discussions or submissions and see what people have done. I can probably like figure out about a premium account. I'll just find out like if I know anybody who has some discounts, and I'll see if I can get one for us. But yeah, that's the main idea, right? Like, so then we are contributing to this repo. What I'll do is I'll make like a video on just like how to make a pull request. So that way, like anybody can go reference it, and that'll be on like the main YouTube channel. I'll put it somewhere, like the library. And then, yeah, just like I said, try to get this stuff in month 1 out of the way so that you feel comfortable. You can read stuff like CLRS as reference. or you can watch stuff on Udemy, MIT OpenCourseWare. We were talking about this actually in the last video. Let me see here. I know Hanya, like, who is also in this group, she shared some really good links. So I actually encourage you to watch this session 2, because it had some good links for checking out stuff, and obviously the first video as well. So there are a lot of good reference material between the two. And I think I've shared this document as well. So make sure to go through Big O cheat sheet. This one was one we talked about. And make sure you're okay with, like, understanding like the time complexity and space complexity for the basic methods, like access, search, insertion, deletion. One thing, so like I've changed the calendar a little bit. I made it originally when I was thinking about like planning this, I was saying, okay, we'll meet every day. But I kind of feel like, maybe it makes more sense to meet like 3 times a week, and those are optional days. Just to keep it simpler for everybody. And then once every 2 weeks, we have a mock interview. So like on the 26th, this is really what you should be preparing for, if nothing else. Like all these other days are just days to just kind of catch up, practice. But then on your own, you just want to make sure that you're ready for those days. And we'll probably start off simple, where we do things like, in the first month, I was imagining that like you'll get a leak code challenge, and you'll partner up with somebody to do like a couple of those leak challenges. And then also you might be responsible for, creating your own implementation of an array or a linked list with those methods, that we talked about on Big O cheat sheet. So you'd have to write that from scratch. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. All right, so going back to this, let's see here. These are some other links that we put, and I guess I'll share this as well in the chat, just in case you don't have it already. So this is like the study reference materials, and then this is the format, this other one here. I should put these together. That is the format for when we meet, and then the first one is like the reference material I already put together. So Big O cheat sheet, Geeks for Geeks, everybody knows about that one. Then there's also like the MIT OpenCourseWare, which I think Hanya shared. This was really good because it has like real videos that you can go and watch about all these different things. And it's very, very in-depth. So I do recommend going through it and just giving it a watch. And then, like for upcoming sessions when we talk, you guys can bring up any of these videos and like your thoughts, and we can even discuss that as well. Some other stuff too, like, you can check out some YouTube channels. I put some stuff here. And then, yeah, just go through this stuff here for arrays. Like, if you use Java, like just know that the interface for an array is a list, and then there's an array list interface, which, automatically resizes. In Python and JavaScript, you don't need to worry about those things. You don't need to worry about interfaces. But in C++ and Java, you probably would need to like think about templates. So yeah, just basically here, like this is where you should probably be like focused, as well as linked lists, like as we move through this month. Any questions so far? That's basically like the rundown again once more. Okay. Sadhna, you all right? You figured out GitHub? You might be muted. Okay, I'll just touch base with you afterwards anyway. We'll find out. So we've got one pull request. And so before I get to that, I just wanted to ask Karthik, did you want to go through the next Java that you put here? I think you merged this one, right? I don't remember reviewing it for you. Do y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, I was just searching
Okay.
for unmute button. Sorry.
Okay.
With with my little one here. Yeah. The other one, like I thought for some reason I was practicing, and I merged it, I guess, like along with the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. So do you want to talk about the contains duplicate challenge? Let's go through that. Let's take a look at it. So contains duplicate. All right, let's go through this just as an example, right, for today, and then we can give everybody some time to kind of catch up. So Karthik, do you want me to read it for you? Because you said you have a kid. You're watching.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
awesome if you can.
Okay. So contains a duplicate given an integer array nums, return true if any value appears at least twice in the array, return false if every element is distinct. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 1. The output should be true because 1 appears twice. Here's another one, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no duplicate, so this will return false. And then over here, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3. Obviously, there's true because there's multiple versions of this. So the constraints, like, so when you tackle a problem, and I want to like try to get everybody to think this way, don't just solve for what you see here, right? Ask like, what kind of numbers should we expect? What kind of inputs should we expect? Should we like be guarding against a certain type of input? Those are questions that you should always ask. So that way, like kind of data you're working with, because, when you write a program, the worst thing that can happen is it just breaks, right? You have to kind of think about like different edge cases. So here you can see that the numbers in the array can be anywhere from 1 to 10 to the 5th power, right? But we don't have any like negative indexes because that wouldn't work. Same thing here. The value of a number can be a negative number, right? And it can be something all the way to, 10 to the 9th power. And they don't say that it can't be like fractions or anything else. Like it's, even though that's what we would assume, it says integer array. Like this is just something that you might want to think about, right? So I guess you can assume it is an integer array for now, like whole and or negative and positive integers. So those are things to just kind of remember. So does anybody here want to like try like thinking out a brute solution before we kind of look at Karthik's? Like to your mind, like what would you think of doing like to solve this problem, at least in a brute force way? Well, if everybody is kind of like stuck, then like the simplest thing is you can go through this array, right? Like iterate through this array, and then you can check each value here, like so, and you could check one value and compare it to every other value, then go to the next one and compare it to every other value, then go to the next one and compare it to every other value. So if you see like a duplicate, then okay, yeah, this probably this is going to return true, right? We're going to say, oh yeah, like there, I saw this number before. Can we do a little bit better? Like, because what would the operation be like if we were to like go and compare one index to every other index? This one should be an easy one in terms of big O notation.
O(n) to the power 2.
Correct. And why?
Because it would invariably it will have you invoke 2 for loops, I would guess.
Correct. Okay.
I mean nested for loops, right? Not just 2 for loops, nested for loops. 2
Right.
nested for loops, yeah.
Right. So going back to this is what O(n) squared looks like in terms of time complexity. So for time complexity, like it's okay, like if the input is small, because it doesn't really matter. Like, but if the input is very large, right, like 10 to the 5, yeah, it's going to matter. It's going to be very, very long, in terms of time complexity to like work on. right? So we don't want that particular big O complexity. We want to try for something a little bit smaller, like O of n, or O log n, or O1. And you can see that here in the shaded graph. So let's take a look at what you have, Carpa now. So you have contains a duplicate. Here's your main methods. This is good, so that we can try this out. You can just run the program. Here's your brute force method, which is great. And then here's your optimized method. And so you said this is ON time space complexity. So what you did was you created a set, correct, right? It's good. And then you said if the set contains the number, add it to the set. Return true, otherwise you add it to the set. So Karthik, what is a set?
Set is a data structure which wouldn't allow duplicates in them. So essentially set retrieval access, everything is the way it's stored is like it's hash code is generated and stored, so retrieval is faster. So it's O of 1 most of the times for every read, right? So that's why I use set, and then it eliminates duplicates, wouldn't allow. Another way you can possibly do is like instead of doing a contains, which is like going and looking for it, in set it's optimized. If it was array, you would traverse through the whole thing, so it's like O of n, you wouldn't want to do that. Another way to do in the set would be set.add. It's a Boolean operation. So let's say if there is already in the set 1, and if you try to add again 1, it will throw a false. So that can also be used in the if loop to check whether it's already duplicate or not, and then basically say, okay, the array contains duplicate, etc.
Awesome.
2 ways of doing it, yeah.
And so how is a set as a data structure? And it's okay if you don't know yet, but like, how is it backed? What is it backed by? You know, like, how do you create this data structure? Like, if you didn't have this library, right, like Java collections, how would you create your own set data structure? Kumar, are you talking? I can't.
Yeah, I thought he was talking. So
Yeah,
possibly
it seems like
I
we
would
can't hear
use
you.
yeah, possibly I'll use a combination of stack, which does the check whether there is duplicate available or not, stack, or yeah, or even arrayless. You would just do it in arrayless too. It's quite, but the problem with that is like you'll traverse every time before you add and check if there is duplicates and stuff. So.
Right. And so like when you implement your own set and you're traversing, still, if it's backed by an array, it's going to go from being ON to being something else, right? So implement that in Java. So internally, it implements a map, right? When you look at this, it says that this is a hash, right? So you know that this is key value pair. So essentially, like, it's just each value is just a key in a map, but essentially you can't add the same value again into that key value pair. Like, it's going to check if there's that value already exists, then it's not going to get added. So this would be kind of like some good research to go check out, just kind of like how it works internally. And then, you know, you can kind of get a sense of like why like the solution is a little bit more optimal. So let's see, basic implement of a hash set here, although this has got a -2. So I'll go find some information about this. I think you can look at Java info. Yeah, that's a good one, the official source. So I'll put that here. But yeah, just so that this is a good all-around solution, right? Like, so just this is good that you did this. It's a good job getting the PR and getting that ready. I advise everybody here just to kind of, you know, go through the blind 75 again, and just make sure that you're okay with like understanding like, these questions, and then giving it a try on yourself, right? And then once you're done with that, go and check out some of the other PRs from your friends in this group and just give it a read, and then see like what they've contributed, and see if you understand their solution. And then, like I said, I'll figure out a way, like, so we can see if we can get like some kind of discount on premium. Or I can definitely get a premium account. We could go through my version of the solutions together. And yeah, just basically, try to continue this, go through this. If you finish fast, then you can go on to something else like linked list. And then if you're really ahead, then I would just say keep reading, material. Okay, no worries. All right. Any other questions? I want to keep this short today because it is 30 minutes. That's really what like this is all about. Like, it's not meant to be very long. I know that we can go up to an hour, but I want to give everybody their time back, as well. If you want to get started on this stuff. And yeah, I'm sorry if like, you guys might be having mic trouble or whatever. I know that Kumar, you were speaking a couple times, but we couldn't hear you. So we'll just touch base with you later. Sadhana, I assume you're okay. If not, reach out to me on WhatsApp or Discord. You know how to find me. And yeah, good luck. We'll resume. Tomorrow we've got the system design thing, but Friday we can resume. Oh, actually it is Thursday. I'm like behind on my own schedule. Are you saying something, Kumar?
Yeah. So this blind 75, so we can do it in any order, or there's a particular order that we should follow?
You can do it in any order. So I'm not like trapping you to like do just this, but I would say stick with the group. Don't jump ahead to like dynamic programming or matrices or trees. Because if you do, then the only problem is that some people, like for me, I probably know most of these topics, but I'm just trying to review it, right? Like we're just trying to go through an order here. So you have enough time for everybody. But definitely, like if you feel like you want to still do it, I'm not going to stop you. That's all.
So where are we right now? Like array and English, or just arrays?
Arrays and linked lists. Like this is month one, right? So just work through here. We may get to stacks and queues. Also try to do the algorithms, right? From scratch, right? Any of these, like try to be able to do these on your own. And then definitely know like each of these access, search, insertions for any data structure was being asked to implement. Month 3, we'll go through trees, heaps, graphs, more of the advanced stuff like depth first search, breadth first search, binary search tree, min-max tree, B trees, red, black trees. I'm actually at this point where like I'm actually like, doing the red, black, B trees. We talked about this in a different class. And I was asked about radix sort and bucket sort. So that's kind of like where my head's at, but I know like, the hardest one probably is dynamic programming. So if you ask me that stuff, I probably is not going to do as well, right? This is probably like where I'm at the moment. Graphs, and trees.
Cool. Thank you, Vijay.
Of course, yeah. And I would say to you, if you really know this stuff, right, you feel like it's like super easy, then just try to help others, because like that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
In the interviews, and even when you work at a fan company, like they want you to they grade you not so much on like how well you score, although that's part of it, but also how well you're able to like help others, right? So if you can help others, that's like very important.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, I think like one thing you could do is like help us get information on how these sets work, how they're actually like backed, right? So like the question that we came up today, if you can find documentation or a video on like how a set avoids duplicates, that would be really great.
But in Java because my main language is Python actually.
Perfect. That's okay.
That's okay.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, don't if you don't care about Java, that's fine. You can use Python. If you want to upload stuff here, you can use
I'll
Python.
do when I
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing actually that you bring up. We can, as we do these, we can review like the different solutions in different languages so that people here get a chance to kind of see the different languages too.
Cool.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, like I said, just jump in, right? Like what's the best way you can do it? Go through the notes, go through the format, and then just jump in, start working. Make sure that you can do the pull request because that's the most important thing. If you can't, like, if you get an error that says, "Oh, I'm not able to make a pull request," then you need to contact me, and we can get that fixed for you. And then finally, just keep communication within data structures and algorithms channel here. So, like, as you're working and you make a PR, I prefer you to just like drop like a line here and say, hey, I just finished this. Would anybody want to take a look? Here's the link to the PR. And, just similar to how we do it in Team Hack, right? Like people contribute here. I'd like you all to do it in this channel here. We do have one other group, which is this accelerator chat, but I don't want it to become too crowded with too many different discussions. So I'd like it to just kind of be like one discussion so people can easily search and find like what they need. So, okay. So yeah, that's basically it. Again, yeah, good luck. I'm always easy to reach. Like you can just find me, just send me a message. I talk to a lot of people daily, but that said, I'm also trying to like now focus on like doing these problems too. So, but I am pretty easy to reach. So yeah, good luck. I'll talk to you all. So we'll see you tomorrow, but then we'll do 30 minutes and then Monday and the week after is kind of like the week to really start brushing up and making sure you can do stuff for our first mock interview.
Awesome.
Okay, good stuff. All right, talk to you all later. Bye.